Thanks for listening to the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, where each week we talk about a free piece or two of technology that you can use in your classroom. I'm your host, Shanna Martin. I'm a middle school teacher, technology coach, and personalized learning coordinator for my district.
Und ich heiße Fuzz Martin.
And today our focus is foreign languages.
Foreign languages.
It's going to be amazing.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
No habla.
Ich spreche Deutsch.
So, we're focusing on foreign language today.
Yes.
But all of the things we use are actually useful for any vocabulary lessons. So,
right.
What's super fun is my 3 years of high school Spanish.
Yes. Yeah.
And your German amazingness that is going to happen in today's podcast. Mm-hmm. So, buckle up, everybody.
Buckle up.
It's going to be an interesting episode.
We often, well, one, I get yelled at by our 4-year-old because I will start speaking. I'll start reading English books in German.
Yes.
And pretending that I don't know English. And then she says, Daddy, no, in English.
But she does have books that are in German and in Spanish. Mm-hmm. And she'll listen to them if the story is written in the language and she's used to hearing the story in the language, she's fine with it. Mm-hmm. But if you change a book that she's used to hearing and she knows the words to it, then it becomes a little questionable.
Wir haben einen Bär und heißt Rocky. We have a bear named Rocky, and all he speaks is German.
Because
so
he came from Germany.
He came from Germany, but every time that we...
By the way, he doesn't actually speak. You voiced him.
I voice him, but if I'm pretending for him to talk, it's always in German. Always.
Because Rocky only speaks German because he's from Germany.
Mm-hmm. Er spricht Deutsch.
It's a really long, complicated story. All right. On that note, I have 4 super cool websites today.
Yes.
Some of them you will be familiar with, but they're useful in many ways. So
I'm only familiar with one. Two.
Okay.
Well, 2.
Yeah, 2 of the 4.
One is familiar as of show prep time.
Yeah. But it's fun. So we have 4 websites, again, that are great for foreign language and several like between 21 and 35 languages. Like, you can learn any language that you want to, and you want to encourage students, I know, for like inquiries, and sometimes kids just want to learn new languages besides doing them in school. It's kind of cool to dig around and just explore these websites because I've learned a lot just by playing around with them, and they're kind of fun just to expose kids to different languages.
Yeah, for sure.
So the first one, I think like everybody on the planet knows, but maybe not. It is Duolingo.
Yes, Duolingo. It's wonderful.
Duolingo. Duolingo.com.
Duolingo.
I know our Spanish and German students both use it in my district as like supplemental material.
Yeah.
But what's cool about it is that the kids can put it on their phone or Chromebooks or wherever, and they can take it with them. Mm-hmm. So super easy, like Duolingo, whether you're a foreign language teacher or just someone who wants to learn a different language, go ahead and like sign yourself up. You sign in with Google. It's free. And there's a choice. You can take a placement test when you go in. So if you've taken your 3 years of Spanish, like I have in high school, and I remember my colors and my numbers and like pencil and door, because we spend a lot of time in Door County, Wisconsin. There's a restaurant called La Puerta.
La Puerta.
The door.
The door.
And so you can test in and see how awesome you are at your knowledge of your languages. And then, or you can skip the part and just start from the basics with your intro. And as I was digging through with Duolingo, because I've done it in Spanish, and I know you can talk all about your German experience in Duolingo. But they have offered up now 34 languages that you can pick from. What I think is cool.
It was like 6.
Yeah, like 12.
Yeah.
But I teach also Native American stuff, and Navajo is one of the choices.
Oh, well.
Which I think is super cool. Like, I'm definitely going to share that with my students.
We're both, we were in the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and they have Valyrian. High Valyrian, so you can learn to speak the language of Westeros for Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So if you haven't gone on Duolingo in a while, like, I feel like they've really upped their game.
Yeah.
From just learning foreign language to, like...
I think it was you.
Jazzing things up.
I think your computer wants you to...
My computer's on mute. Are you gaming on your computer?
Am I gaming? No.
Yeah, you playing your foreign language games?
Computer's on mute as well.
Oh, interesting.
Is that your phone?
No. Well...
Is it your Duolingo?
That's what I thought. It was like Duolingo or one of the other games I've got up for foreign languages. But
well...
Anyway,
Alexa?
On that note... yeah, Duolingo. Check it out if you haven't already.
I did.
Sign yourself up.
For 1 year. I had a 1 year streak.
Yeah, it was
10
impressive.
10 minutes a day.
Yep.
I did it every single day. Didn't miss a day.
No. It would be 11 o'clock at night, and you would
I'd
be
be like, oh no, I have to Duolingo quick.
10 minutes.
And so I would skip the ones where you had to talk into it because I didn't want to wake anybody up. But I was away from some clients in Germany. The funny part is I spent a year and then we went to Germany. It was like a little over a year. We went to Germany and I'm like, I am going to impress them with my Deutsch skills. And I get there and I start speaking and one of them said essentially, you're adorable. However, we learned English in high school.
And we want to practice.
And we want to use our English while you're here. So everybody that realizes you're an American is going to want to speak English to you. So good luck speaking German.
Yeah, but they thought you were cute. Like, they humored you. Like, oh, yeah, go ahead, talk to us in German. Yeah. Okay, we're going to talk to you in English, though, because we want to talk in English.
Oh, I ordered a pretzel with mustard.
Yeah, good job. But anyway.
Good job, kid.
But it is, like, a super useful tool. So Duolingo, if you haven't done it, do it. Try it out for languages. And if you haven't tried it out in a while, come back to it, because it's upped its game.
I practiced for a long time saying, I have the vocabulary of a 5-year-old boy as a joke. And then somebody's like, if you know how to say that, your vocabulary is better than a 5-year-old boy. And I was...
Nice.
It was me trying to be funny and ironic.
Yeah. In German.
And I was neither.
So along with Duolingo,
yeah,
there is a website that I discovered while renewing my interest in Duolingo, and it's called tinycards.duolingo.com. Now, I didn't realize this was a piece of Duolingo, and it is such a cool tool, and it can be used in any subject area.
So not just language.
Don't have to use language. Now, there are plenty of pre-made decks that other people have created in foreign languages. Like right now on my little feed, it's colors in French, Morse code.
Wow.
But you make your own. You make your own decks. So it's tinycards.duolingo.com, and again, you just sign in with Google, and you go to create your own deck, or you can look at other people's decks, and it would be like a flashcard deck. But what's neat is that when you're playing, every 2 to 3 cards, there's a little, not like a quiz, but it's a reinforcement. So it'll throw the last 3 choices at you and then show you a picture.
Okay.
And then you have to pick which one out.
Oh.
So it's really nice because it's not just straight flashcards, but it kind of reinforces what you're learning.
Sure.
And so they even have facts about Gandhi and Chinese animal. There's all kinds of choices.
You selected Gandhi facts.
And it's cool. Egyptian mythology. So these are decks that people have already created. West Virginia tourism. You can use the tiny cards for anything.
Episodes of Tech Tools for Teachers podcast.
There you go. You can quiz all the cool topics we've covered.
What episode was Room Styler?
That one was 41. No. 17?
I don't know.
Come back 26? No.
We could look it up, but you could just go to the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, EdTech Directory, and look it up yourself.
Shameless plug. But anyway, so tiny cards, we're really off topic today. Yeah. Tiny cards, though, is such a cool way to study your foreign language on these little reinforcing flashcards, but you can use it for any subject area. So
math. English.
Yeah. Science. Any kind
Auto
of like
mechanics.
vocabulary or even like pictures or matching. Anyway,
Agriculture.
it was a fun little find that
Robots.
I had. All the things, parts of robots. It was a fun little find when I was digging around, like, these are really cool, and it's just not regular flashcards, so I thought that was kind of fun.
So that's tinycards.duolingo.com.
Correct.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's like a piece to Duolingo, but it's its own little...
Yeah. Is Duolingo all free? I mean, I know they have ads. Do they have a... They must have a premium version.
Ads. You can shop Duolingo for, like, power-ups and stuff.
Maybe I'll buy myself a Duolingo hat. Ein Hut.
And
Ich
like
verkaufen ein
dictionaries of,
Hut.
and I think like they have extra stuff added to it, but
Ich
the
habe
general pieces of it are free.
verkauft. Okay.
The next one
Yes.
is vocabulary.com,
Oh.
which is another, I think people are sort of familiar with it, but
Yeah.
vocabulary.com, and it's literally vocabulary.com. Again, sign in with Google, and you can sign up as a teacher or your kids can sign up as students. So
Okay.
you can kind of pick and choose. And then there are lists of words by subject, by topic, and you can reinforce, like, obviously foreign languages, you can reinforce, and it's basically like a flashcard setup.
Okay. But this is for learning foreign language?
You can use it for foreign language. Yeah, vocabulary. That's what like the focus is, but you can honestly use them for any vocabulary. It does not have to be foreign language. So that's kind of nice about like the last two we're focusing on foreign language because that's usually when you're flashcarding and like memorizing things.
Yep.
But you can use them for any vocabulary, whether it be science or from a book you're reading or like any topics that you'd like to. And like vocabulary.com even has like power prefixes. So like my thought is not only is this helpful for people learning foreign languages, but if you have any like English language learners in your school or any of that type of stuff, you are also reinforcing like English vocabulary as well as other languages. Like you can do both. So it's kind of useful all the way around for everybody.
Okay.
So vocabulary.com, again, sign up with Google. It creates your own little like thing, and then you can create lists of your words. You can search other people's lists, and then you can play. And they have like little vocab that like fill in sentences with vocab and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. And just, again, quick and easy. If you need kids to review vocabulary, it's a great way to do it. This one is not as like gamey and cutesy. Like to me, Tiny Cards is definitely meant to be cutesy versus vocabulary.com is like to focus on the like
Vocabulary
learning or the vocab. Yeah.
So if we were going to rank the 4 tech tools that we're talking about today from most cutesy to least cutesy, vocabulary.com would definitely be the least cutesy.
And Tiny Cards would be the first cutesy.
Do you think so? Because
there's when you like, the next one isn't cutesy as much though as it is like
cartoony.
Yeah.
And
Tiny Cards has like little smiley faces that pop up in the cards that go when you like accomplish the right thing.
What about Duolingo? Because it's got the little hoot guy.
I think Tiny Cards would be first. Duolingo would be second. The next one, Babadum, would be number 3. And then when it comes to cutesy, vocab.com will get the job done. Not as cutesy.
Okay.
All right.
It's more professional in its setup. It's also called vocabulary.com.
Correct.
Babadum.
So this next one.
Babadum. Babadum. Babadum.
Yeah.
Babadum.
Literally.
Boom. Sorry. Babadum. And I'm acting very much babadum.
Babadum. So when going through foreign language things, because I'm supporting staff, like with, and I've kind of taken this on a little bit this year. I'm working with some outside my usual realm of techie help.
Yeah.
And it's fun digging around to find stuff for content areas that I'm not as familiar with. Mm-hmm. And so digging around, besides like Duolingo, which I am familiar with, Babadum.com is a game setup for practicing foreign languages.
Yes.
So all you do is you can sign up if you want to like save your scores, but if you're just going to have kids play and practice or explore new languages.
Yeah, then you have to log in.
You don't even have to log in. You hit play. Okay.
Easy enough. Oh, I thought your sound was off there. Toots.
Apparently my sound is on. So
it was my phone, by the way.
It gives you,
I had the ringer on, and it's going to rain, according to weather.com.
Yay, more rain. So what it does is you get to, it throws a word in the center.
Die Jahreszeiten.
Yeah. So is that a wheelbarrow, a bug, or a garden, or the seasons?
I think it's the seasons.
You're right.
Yeah.
Look at that. So
Das
what it does,
Blatt.
oh geez. Okay, I gotta change the language so
I don't
that
know
way.
what Das Blatt is. I'm gonna guess it's no.
It's a leaf. Nope, I don't know. Anyway, so
The Kegel is bowling.
okay. So Babadum.
Babadum.
You get to pick the language that you're going to work in.
They have like how many languages?
21 languages.
21.
And there's 5 games. And you can donate to it. So that's how they make their money. So it's free, and then people make donations. And you can pick in the upper left-hand corner, if you like highlight, the 5 games come up, and you can pick. There's like word in the center, and you pick 4 pictures, or then there's 4 words with 1 picture, or like it gives you different combinations of things. So you can work from there. And then in the bottom right-hand corner, all of the languages come up. So you can pick and choose what language you want to work with. And then all it does is it's just interactive. So you pick and choose and you earn points. And they give you, everything's already like recreated. Or not recreated, it's actually created, I guess. And it's cool. Like it's just very easy to play. Like what an easy way to reinforce just practice for your students.
Yes.
They have like stats on there, or you can see like highest scoring winner, facts and figures, and how many languages are played, like what language is played most often.
What is it?
I don't know because I just turned it off.
Let me put you on the spot, live on the air.
And so they have 1,500 words to pick from in their word bank, 21 languages, 5 games to play. And literally you go to the website, you click play, and then from there you can pick your game. It throws you right into a game. Then you can change the game, change the language if you want to.
So what I've learned from these are that Babadum is easy to play. You don't retain it as much. Mm-hmm. With Duolingo, there are many different ways that they show you the words and the setup and the grammar, and you're presented the same word in a bunch of different ways. Mm-hmm. Whereas this, at least in the ones that I played, and I played up to 100 after you had showed me, and you were tucking in the small child. Mm-hmm. Babadum is cool for it's kind of like you're using flashcards a bit, because the word comes up, you pick which of the like 4 the things
that it matches. Mm-hmm.
Right. But with Duolingo, there's somewhere you have to say the word into your device.
And you have to type it sometimes
you
too.
have to type it
and write it correctly.
And some you have to choose which I forget what you call the word before it, like la el los
what parts?
Yeah, well, like in German it'd be die, der, and das, like the feminine, masculine. Mm-hmm. I forget the vocabulary term for those words. But you have to do that in Duolingo, and I think it's more gamified and more challenging, and also you get to levels. With Babadum, you're just cycling through those 1,500 words, and sometimes the same ones come up.
One of the games where they give you the picture, and then they give you the letters across the bottom.
Okay. And
then you have to choose, and you have to spell the word correctly.
Sure.
Like across it. So not all of them are picture matching.
But
it definitely, I agree with like the retaining. Like this would be great for like a review, or if a kid is just inquiry, if it's like an inquiry where the kids are exploring new languages, or like something you would never try in class.
Yep.
To kind of like check out similarities and differences between languages, this would be a great way to kind of explore that avenue versus just
right, just going full into a Duolingo lesson,
right,
as opposed. And I totally agree with that. The other cool part about Duolingo is it separates the challenges by word parts or types. So, one might be about food and one might be about weather, and you get these clumps of words, so you start to learn them all together, whereas Babadum seems like it's randomized. And again, it's still good. I think it's really good for review. So if you've been learning in class or you've been learning in Duolingo, going to Babadum will help break you out of, maybe you've learned the Duo, maybe you've been doing it for 10 minutes a day for a year and you've kind of learned the Duolingo
and you can speak
algorithm.
5-year-old German.
Yeah. Yes. But so they're both good and they're both free and they're both extremely useful tools that I wish I had as a kid. But I would choose Duolingo if I needed to learn.
If you really need to learn the language versus just reviewing.
Yeah.
And if you need cutesy tiny flashcards,
yes,
go to Tiny Cards. And if you need serious flashcards or like word parts and
go to
things
Etsy.
like that, go to vocabulary.com.
Go to the store, get some 3x5s.
Yeah, haul those babies out. But it's kind of nice that all of these like work nicely on phones. I know a lot of times, especially like when you're working 6/12, and the kids have to go home to review, it's nice being able to flashcard it up on their phone or on their Chromebooks. They all work great on Chromebooks too.
Whenever you say working 6/12, I always think as a teacher you're working from like 6 a.m. till midnight.
Versus that's kind of how it does work. But
I work half days.
Middle school
from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yes, middle school through high school.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Those kind of things. But anyway, so foreign language things.
A silly dad.
I feel like some of these are definitely useful in other subject areas as well for this week. So try them out. And again, if you've used Duolingo before, tell us all your fun your Duolingo stories, because I know that a lot of teachers use it for like various different things. And if you are a Game of Thrones fan, go ahead and try out High Valyrian, because we'd love to hear some audio recordings of people trying out their High Valyrian in Duolingo, because I feel like that could be an amazing tweet if you are excited to try that out at some point.
Right.
Or doing something fun with Babadum.
Yeah.
And your students.
Agreed.
On that note, well, thanks for tuning in. Are you can you say that in German? Are you looking it up right now? Oh, geez.
Danke für...
Thanks for tuning in. This has been the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. If you ever have any questions, you can find me on Twitter at SmartNWI. And if you want to get more information on the links to the technology discussed in this week's episode, you can visit smartnwi.com, specifically the EdTech Directory.
Yep.
You can always find me on Facebook. I put in lots of fun little things throughout the week. New episodes each week. Thanks for listening. Go educate and innovate.
Die Ideen und Meinungen auf diesem Podcast und der Smart NWI Website ausdruckt sie. No. I wanted to, but I'm not going to. The ideas and opinions expressed in this podcast and the Smart NWI website are those of the author, Shanna Martin, and not of her employer. Prior to using any of the technologies discussed in this podcast, please consult with your employer regulations. This podcast offers no guarantee that these tools will work for you as described, but, as always, it's our hope that they do. Talk to you again on the next episode of the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast.